Alright guys, we are going into game 2 of this semi-finals. We've just hopped in live after casting the other semi-finals. Zest is waiting in the grand finals. He's waiting in the wings for the winner of this, and our young Danish Wunderkind is actually ahead right now. He's going very quick 4-gas mass Void Ray play. This is MaxPax. Might go into carriers very quickly as well. This is going to delay his third base a little bit. That might make Solar a little worried about potentially a Glaive Adept follow-up, because of course he doesn't have any Overlords nearby for scouting. And when he sees that this third base is going down after the 4-minute mark, that will raise alarm bells. You go, oh, he doesn't even check for it yet. Okay, he's gonna go check. He sees, hey, that just started. What the hell? So Solar might be a little suspicious of this. Doesn't know exactly what it is. He's got 5 queens so far, and he's about to take the lead in the workers. You definitely want to take the lead in the workers against Protoss before 50 workers, preferably as soon as 45. So you can see that MaxPax has chrono boosted his probes a whole lot, man. Look at this, double Void Ray production is about to start up here. Just real tight on everything. The Oracle will go across to get some vision now. Roachhorn and extra gases go down. This could be a delayed Queen Walk, but I would guess we're just going to see a Spire out of Solar in this game. Whether or not he uses it remains to be seen. He'll always stay flexible on that point. Still sees Void Rays and +1 air weapons building. Pretty big sign your opponent's committing to air. And look at this, guys. Overlord speed. He's going to go for speed Overseer Scouts to keep checking. Is MaxPax going mass air? Is he swapping into ground? And we expect Solar to take a 4th on that gold base. Probably right on the 6-minute mark is when I would expect that to go down. So notice he's just going to saturate all 6 gases. Already saturated the minerals. 6th gas now going down in the main using a drone from a different base. I guess he was oversaturated in the natural, so why not? And that 4th base actually going to go down right on 530, but inopportune timing. Yeah, good choice to just pull the drone back, wait for the queens to get in front of it. And now we can throw that gold base down. Just got to be careful, got to keep track of where these chads are. Queens have got to stay on top of that hatchery when it's very fragile. It's infant stages, when it's especially weak to getting sniped. Infestation pit on the way. Ooh, is Solar just playing late game? Swarm hosts are an option. It's not an option we see very often, but it is an option. Spire goes down up there as well. Of course, Infestation Pit getting revelated. Good scout for MaxPax. Still building Void Rays, and he's actually going for the Veins upgrade. For those who don't know, a regular Void Ray is pretty good at banging, but if you give it the fuck Veins upgrade, it's it's so fast. It's good for diving in, sniping bases. The queens are on the way. They realize where it is. Will they get here in time to save the lair? Looks like they will. Just picks off the drone and pulls back. Doesn't have the... Okay, Fuck Veins is now kicked in. Look at that. He's splitting up his Void Rays to be annoying. Takes a gold on the 4th as well. Oracle's looking for some harassment. That Overseer goes down. Units lost tab looking very good for MaxPax so far. That probe will die, though, if the Zergling attacks it, which it doesn't. Oracle being used there. Void Rays come in. Oh, he finds the Overlords. God, I hate when they do that. Snaps 2 Overlords. He's now going to grab the Queen. These guys are going to take out the Spore Crawler up here. Even that's essentially a dead drone, guys. Each time you kill a Spore, and 75 minerals on top of it. He's going to get another Spore Crawler there. Oh, man, this is great damage. Lings are on his base, but he's got a Void Ray there. I think MaxPax is totally okay with this trade. He's killing more queens in the main. Gets another drone there. That queen will go down. She does. Another queen caught in the open away from the spores. The Voids are on hold position, though. Otherwise, they would have gunned her down. That natural wide open. There's only 5 queens right now. The Void Rays are going to come back in on this base, but the spores have shuffled forward from the 3rd to help defend this. They're still going to be able to grab a drone. These Void Rays have to get out of there now. MaxPax does lose one of them. I think that's his first Void Ray to go down. The Lings are going to get the battery. This Void Ray up to 10 kills. Cannon should die as well. I mean, it's good that Solar's doing something to slow down MaxPax. If he already had this 4th base up, this would be a disaster. But he kills 9 probes here. He slows the 4th down. He has his own 4th up, and he's got 12 mutas out for 7 Void Rays. Carriers are about to pop. Ooh, if these mutas catch the Voids, that'll be huge. MaxPax might overcommit to an engagement here. Oracle does see the Mutalisks, though. Great presence of mind to say, look, I've only seen queens, I've only seen drones. I need to see what else is happening. And we've got a battery there. Battery and a cannon going up on the gold. It's not ready. The carrier needs to fight. If the carriers fight, then he can stand. Yeah, he can fight with the carriers. And the carriers and the Voids are going to go up here, try and track these mutas north into that main base. Cannon's not ready just yet. Muta's going to dive on the worker line, see what they can pick up. Voids are hot on their tail, though. Got to be careful, Solar. Loses a couple mutas there. I think about 3 mutas. 4 mutas have gone down this game. MaxPax 4th base not fully saturated yet, though. You can see both players very starving for money. And the Baneling Nest very key. Solar is going to try and do some Ling Bane roll-ins while dancing around with Mass Muta Corruptor. Now, he's already going Corruptors too early. I would have loved to see Solar play a little bit more gambly and just keep committing to the Mutas. The reason there being that the Mutas are so much better at killing probes. Corruptors can't attack down. Mutas can. He's going to try and go for a fight. Gets a Muta. Loses a few Mutas to get a Void Ray, but is that worth it? I'm not quite sure. Love to see Banelings maybe even run in and detonate behind the mineral line, but he doesn't have Bane speed just yet, so it's going to be nasty trying to get that going. Swapping into Ultra Corruptor Viper, second Evo. Feels like Solar's given up on the Muta stage of the game, and to be honest, against a guy who didn't react with Phoenix, I think he could have held down the Muta key and may have been able to pick MaxPax apart, but the threat of the Phoenix is real, and even though he didn't see any building in the Stargates, he really respected that. Mass Lings should be able to easily clear the Stalkers. Does he have enough air to fight the Void Rays, though? Queen's fighting out here on their own. I don't think that's a good choice. Queens should really be waiting for the Mutas and the Corruptors to get back here. 10 Mutas, 7 Corruptors, 3 more Corruptors on the way. MaxPax threatens the attack, pulls back this Creep Tumor. Vision in the middle really helping MaxPax out, and Solar still trying to cement that economy just a little bit here. Get a Spore and a Spine at each base. Ultra upgrades on the way. So we've got Air Armor to go with Air Attack, Melee, Carapace 1-1, and Chitinous Plating on the way. Meanwhile, MaxPax making his own +1 attack and charge. Remember that MaxPax likes Zealot run-bys, but he's never going to match the power of the Ultras and Zerglings on the ground. That's where Solar will actually annihilate. It's just if MaxPax can scare him enough with his air army, he can potentially scare Solar into going too heavy on Corruptors, Vipers, Broodlords, and none of that deals with Zealot run-bys very well. So the Zealots are going to force a lot of static defense and all that sort of stuff as well. Now, there's Archons that have been added in here, and there's no Ultras. Oh no, 2 Ultras have just popped. I think MaxPax is going for a big timing attack. I think it's hard to defend, but I think he's got his Ultras out just in time to deal with it. The Void Rays may have to focus the Ultras. That might actually be the play here, because if you get rid of the Ultras, the Archons kick ass. Oh, great Parasitic Bombs. Bad spready. Bad spready from MaxPax. Get out of there, MaxPax. He's already lost all of his shields. I don't think this is the fight that he wants. Ultra Bane Queen comes forward. Doesn't want to fight in the choke point too much, Solar, but I think with the transfuses, he might be comfortable doing it. He's trying to bait him in. Can't take too much splash damage from those Archons, though. These Archons are so scary. The Ultra gets trapped behind the Queens. The Ultra's trying to come forward, and no, this is a brutal attack. The Archon splash hits the air and the ground. The Mutas and the Corruptors are getting wiped. A nice recall. I think that's a very well-timed recall. I was about to say it's about to turn south, but look at that. Zealots are in multiple bases, cleaning up Zerglings, cleaning up buildings, drones. Solar did a great job of running his drones around this map to avoid it as he goes across for the Corruptor counterattack, but looks like he will lose that high. 400 hit points, 300, 200, 100, and it falls. The Zealots mostly going down. The Prism saves a couple of them. Does get out of there. It can continue more of this later. Banelings find the gold mineral line. Ties up the worker count there. Only a very small lead in the workers now for MaxPax. Corruptors clean up the Prism as well. And Solar can recover from this. But right now he's focusing on army, not workers. And that puts pressure on him to counterattack. That being said, what have we got? 6 Void Rays, 2 carriers. A few more carriers would be nice. He's building Immortals and a second Robo. MaxPax is trying to get a ground army out to deal with this. He doesn't have it. It's only 12 Corruptors, though. 12 Corruptors does not beat 6 Void Rays, 2 carriers, especially if some Archon Splash and some Shield Battery healing comes into play. The Void Rays pull way back for some reason. They're a little bit slow. Parasitic Bombs could change this, though. And look at that. Parasitic Bombs going forward. Throws 1, throws 2. One of those Vipers dies. Battery overcharges here, which means he shouldn't care too much about the Parasitic Bomb damage. Battery overcharge will heal right through that. Unable to get through onto the economy just yet. Time to force the fight, MaxPax. You've got to kill those Corruptors and start killing this Ultra Ling Bane. That top left base is in trouble. Zealots are warping in and actually not even standing and fighting. They're going for a run-by. He's going to go for that mineral line. Kill a few of those is Solar. Does take those out, and the Ultras are going to pull back. This one Ultra left behind here for the moment. And the cannon will get depowered. A couple more probes going down. This is great play by Solar. He's going to lose a few drones, though, on the tail end. These Zealots focus fire really well. MaxPax could do enough damage to make this very good for him. And there we go. Zerglings will trickle on in. Remember, they're 1-1 Zerglings with no adrenal glands. So the +1 Zealots are doing all right versus them, even though it's 3 shots to kill them. Hive is being rebuilt right now for Solar. Wants to be able to refill on those Vipers. He's trying to re-drone, recover that economy. Probably going to take a 5th on the south side in the near future. But MaxPax, 2 carriers are still alive. He's got +2 air weapons, +3 is almost finished. Just refilling on Void Ray, Immortal Archon. Void Ray's beat Corruptors, Immortal Archon beats Ultraling Bane. What do you do to turn this around? Well, the answer is clearly Broodlords to deal with the ground, landing some nice fungal with the Parasitic Bomb to combo on the Void Rays, and then maybe making a big play of it. But you know what? The Hive's not finished, which means there's no Great Aspire. Solar's down 40 supply, and I mean, that speaks for itself. I'm sure there's someone who watches the game not really paying much attention to anything other than the numbers at the bottom. I know I've done that in the past. I go, Caster, he's up 40 supply. You need to announce that repeatedly rather than talk about the state of the game. It won't matter if MaxPax doesn't attack in the next 2 minutes. If MaxPax attacks in the next 2 minutes, looks like he's moving out, then he should be able to get in there before Broodlords are out. Vipers are rebuilding, but they're going to take a while to gather energy. And he hasn't even found the freedom to invest in Infestors. Solar feels like his pressure, the pressure's on him. And he's like, man, I can't even go Infestors right now. I don't have any spare gas. I'm so far from max. He's got so little anti-ground units right now. He's trying to make melee, adrenal glands, these upgrades. MaxPax going to start denying some mining. The Ultras and Banes on the south side, scaring off that Zealot run by. I do like the 1-2 punch from MaxPax. Archons move south. Void Rays shove forward with a big prismatic alignment. He even cancels it just to hunt them down. Actually, no, he doesn't. He never even activated it. He's just shoving. Oh, this is so powerful. MaxPax senses weakness. He said, where the hell is your army? That's not enough to intimidate me, bud. And the Corruptor Viper will go in. Parasitic Bomb's going down. The Corruptors, of course, get annihilated in equal numbers with the Void Rays. And MaxPax with a 2-0 lead over Solar. I think we're going to see some very aggressive play in this next map. Got this, guys. MaxPax is down here in the bottom right of Berlingrad. He did a very standard opening. He's going Stargate, delaying his Warp Gate. That's going to kick in a little bit. But notice he's not even chrono boosting his first Adept because he's planning to keep it at home. MaxPax chronoing probes non-stop for the early few minutes is part of why he's always so far ahead on the workers. His opponent Solar, of course, had his natural blocked, had to take this front third base, and I'll tell you, if there's ever a map you want to walk Queens across, it's from here across the map to your opponent's third base and trying to kill that. It's so beautiful if you can get that Queen walk across. So it's something which Solar might not be able to resist the urge to do. Against the build MaxPax is doing, I would argue, yeah, I mean, if he does the same sort of very quick double gas on the natural, it's hard because the Void Ray count grows so quickly. He can kind of just get so many Voids out that he just overwhelms the Queens. And even before that, just snipes down the Ravagers, right? Whenever the Ravagers move away from the Queens even just an inch. He gets one Zergling, doesn't get any other kills just yet, and the Adept will... Oh, can he hit from the high ground? Oh, he can? No way! Oh, nice Spore Trick from Solar, though. I didn't realize an Adept had long enough range to do that. That's crazy. He's building a Void Ray at home. And do we see the double gas, guys? Obviously, you need a pylon, second gate, but he's either moving out to take a third or he's taking double gas and a second Stargate. I think he's going to move out to take a third. Looks like it. Void Ray is here. Probe's looking for that probe snipe. Zergling, sorry, looking for the probe snipe. Notice he pulls it back, gets the Void Ray and the Adept together, and then gets that third down nice and safe. Needs to put a pylon down right after. Creates a little choke point there that the Adept can, of course, station itself in. I don't like this particular block. I think that's a better spot. Yeah. Yep. Zergling's going to come in. Void Ray is there, though. And probe gets microed back. MaxPax on point. For those who don't know, MaxPax apparently turns 18 very shortly. Unfortunately, did turn down his seed into the World Championship coming up in just a few weeks' time. No comment when asked why, as far as I know. Not sure if maybe Rotterdam got an answer, but it is what it is. Roach Warren is on the way at a pretty crisp timing for Solar. Double gas, 440. This could turn into a Queen Walk, but it's not a very fast one. I would not imagine so. Normally, you'd expect those down about 425. 420, 430, somewhere in the 420 to 430 range, maybe as early as 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Oracle comes on in. Oh. Of course, for those guys who are just wondering, just like a little bit of trivia, second Stargate gets spotted, very nice for Solar. So if you are doing the very fast Queen Walk, I think it's about like 335 a second gas goes down, and a Roach Horn, like it's so early. It's really very quick. And the Queens start moving out even at 4 minutes. Before you've even started building Roaches, to be honest. It's actually sick. Of course, that's a super fast 4 Queen Walk. We're not going to see any Queen Walk this game. It's once again I'm going to scout and react, says Solar. Solar is at his most deadly, not when he's scouting and reacting, but when he is taking the fight to his opponent. He's a timing attack god, and he's good at getting ahead. He has managed to keep his work account pretty nice this time around. Still double Void Ray production. Robo is up. Is MaxPax going to go Disruptors this time around? Or do we just see Twilight and a Forge go down? Third Stargate, Fleet Beacon. Oh my lord. Full skytoss, baby. MaxPax is one of the best pros at playing this style. Roach Speed is on the way as well. 6 Overlords right now. Solar freeing himself from a rather deadly supply block. Oracle comes in, runs into a pack of Queens. Barely gets out of there, but provides a distraction. And you can see Solar a little too slow to notice these. And 2 drones do go down. MaxPax will just shuffle back. Says, okay, 2 drones, a bit of mining time. I'm happy with that, dude. Comes over and tries to grab some more drones. And he will actually grab 4 drones in total. Wow, does he get a 5th? Surely not. 4 drones still very tasty. Overlords in the open, but the Queens do get there in time to shepherd him away. 4th base goes down at 6 minutes 30. God, that's disgusting. It makes you want to attack so bad. Solar's been trying to play greedy, but he's actually now going Mass Queen Roach. Oh, and he's going to try and stop the cannon battery. It's actually just a very delayed Queen Walk, guys. He's got 7 Queens. Make it 8 Queens marching forward. And he's actually going for the natural. Oh, he really should have mined out these minerals. This is really an awkward attack angle. His Zerglings are pulling the attention away, and he knows the natural's going to be ignored. MaxPax will get warning of this. No, his Oracle leaves. It barely doesn't see. Oh, that's so unlucky, because now he has the illusion of seeing no units there. He has this idea of like, oh yeah, nothing's happening. It's all good. He's going to send some Adepts to harass out the right side, and that's going to be his first warning of this giant attack. Carriers are almost out. Carriers are pretty good at taking out Queens, but they're going to need a little bit of time to grow that intercept account, and this natural already getting breached. Ah, the lack of vision, the perfect Zergling play from Solar, distracting him. He's trying to get up batteries here. The Void Rays, the carriers coming on forwards. Oh, he's going to try and take this out. Just one Disruptor getting out would be so huge, but he's not going to be able to get it. Ravages are starting to fall. Can't be eating those biles. Good dodges so far. You gotta be real careful with these interceptors, but those Queens are kind of far away. Good focus the Ravages. The cannons are gonna smash the rally on the right side. More biles come down. The Robo is gone. So much Roach Ravager Zergling here. A few interceptors have already died, guys. About 8 of them, but they are rebuilding, and the Queens aren't always in range of all of them. Focuses the Overseer for a moment there. A little bit of an odd choice. Watch out for the biles. Going on the Nexus. Now he's got a 4th base up, so losing this Nexus is not necessarily good game. MaxPax has an incredibly high tier army of Void Ray Carrier. That's going to scale well into the later stages, but look at this. Cute move. Solar needs to go for the battery though. If he wants to take that down, he needs to go for the battery. Zerglings alone. Just A-moving will not do it, but he does target it. The natural goes down. The Lings are going for that base. Look at this though. Zealot's warping in, and he's going to hold. Holds on to his 4th base. He's kept 8 Void Rays, 3 carriers up. He's making Flux Mains. This is absolutely a holdable position for MaxPax. He's just got to be careful with when he picks his fight. I think he kind of is thinking about going for it. Maulings running in the left side. There's 3 Zealots there. They don't have any upgrades, but with the battery and the cannon, they might be able to help out. The Zealots are going to kind of aggro on in towards that. The Carrier's going there. Void Rays go across the map. He's going to go and try and snipe some hatcheries. Carriers defend the Roaches there. He rebuilds the natural. Uh-oh. Spire's going to go down. But the Corruptors are here, and that means he's going to kill the Corruptors. Time to recall. Definitely time to recall. Cancels his Prismatic Alignment to use his mobility. Does lose 1 Void Ray. Biles barely landing. So 2 Void Rays go down, but he got the Spire. Canceled the armor upgrade to kill a couple of Corruptors. MaxPax is still in this. He has just weathered a very scary situation. Can he survive the next wave, though? Big Queen Ravager Corruptor army coming forward. It's going to be so rough. He's rebuilding his Robo. He's like, man, if I just had some Disruptors, I could smash the ground and my Void Ray Carrier can beat the Corruptors if it's just the Corruptors. But when they've got so many Queens backing them up, that's a different story, man. This 4th base might have to be just given up at this stage. Solar has 78 workers as well, and I think that makes things very hard for MaxPax to just make a decision to give up a base. He knows his opponent's got a pretty good economy at this stage. Picks off a few of the Ravages though, and it looks like Solar's backing away, but no Evo chambers? No infestation pit. Solar, what are you doing? Solar should have just pushed there, surely. I mean, Solar's got to keep pushing. You can see he's waiting to just remax on Corruptors, and then he's going to go. But look at this fight from MaxPax. Picks off 2 Queens. Pulls back. Oh, he attacks the rocks to pull the interceptors away, because otherwise you need to pull your carrier all the way out of range before they withdraw. Oh, cannons in the main base gonna help out. The Zealots, uh-oh, they're not aggroing. Zealots, you fucking donkeys. Go fight. MaxPax warped them in, assuming they would go and defend it. Luckily for him, Solar, his hold position only got 3 probes, so it does look like he'll clean it up. Sometimes you just assume a unit will respond to a different friendly unit getting attacked there, and it's just outside of that range. Now, disruptors are on the way, as well as more Void Rays right now. He's only got +1 air weapons, but how many Voids have we got? 13 versus 33 Corruptors. It's going to be 35 Corruptor maxed out. Queen Corruptor push with a few Roaches and Ravagers. So if there's a bunch of cannons up, they'll massively help, because there's not enough Ravagers to just one-shot them, but only 1 cannon right now. Not going to help that much. And there's only 1 disruptor. You need 2 disruptors to really pop all these queens. So MaxPax is in a dicey situation. The Corruptor's trying to kind of force the prismatic alignment out. Kill a Void Ray, they force the prismatic alignment out. Terrible situation for MaxPax to be in right now. He's still got prismatic alignment turned on. Nice disruptor shot plus Zealots. Oh, those queens take a massive hit. They've got plenty of band-aids, so they will heal it up. Does deplete a lot of their energy though. And here we go, the Void Ray carrier. There's not much prismatic alignment available. And I think those Corruptors can honestly just stand their ground and fight. I don't think they need to fuck around. They can honestly just shoot, just shift click, and they will win this fight. Void Rays are good, but when prismatic alignment's off cooldown for all your Void Rays at once, they're just not that good. And it looks like Solar here catching him off guard with the Ravager Corruptor, or the Ravager Queen Walk, the delayed one. Does end up getting that. Oh, big ball. Void Rays there. Nice prismatic alignment. The Corruptor count's getting whittled down, but there's so many more coming across. And the Lings and the Ravagers. The Queens are going to finally fall, but the Void Rays are almost completely gone. Great battery overcharge. Does make this a really awkward fight. The Corruptors aren't even syncing up their shots, but the battery gets focused down. Disruptor does take out some Roaches. This is the point where you're like, well, do I swap back into ground as MaxPax? He doesn't have enough money really to swap into anything. The Void Rays will get outnumbered, outgunned, overwhelmed. The numbers, the tech switches, and the surprising attacks get it done. Solar gets himself back into this series by disguising a Queen Walk, hitting at a very surprising moment in the game, and from a really weird angle. Well played. Alright guys, up here in the top right side, he still just needs 1 game to finish it off. Let's see what he's got for us on Hardwire. This is MaxPax. Reppin' Psystorm gaming and looking like a monster recently. His opponent at the bottom left, this is Solar. And he's going to come down and find a probe here, willing and ready to block his natural. So notice he just sends immediately to the 3rd base, and you're even expecting that block to happen these days. Oh, he thinks about going back. And he's going to get it. MaxPax too greedy. Way too greedy. Guys, in this scenario, you always want to hang out down here till at least about a minute or just before that. At that point, if they're going to put the hatchery down and get it here, it's so delayed, it's so inefficient, it's worth it for you. So MaxPax, I think being a bit too, I would argue, either greedy or paranoid. This allows him to get in here and harass the minerals. Also allows him to check if there's a 12 pool, so you could say, oh, maybe he's paranoid about 12 pool. But this hatchery was only delayed by a few seconds, like 25 seconds ago. Yeah, this was maybe 7 seconds late for a 16 hatch. I think he'd already built an extra drone or 2 though. So I think it was still a 17 hatch. And gas and pool right on time. So MaxPax does let him take the favored base. Bit of a mistake. Doesn't change too much in my opinion. And does potentially weaken Queen Walks later on in the game. Carrier there as well. Got 15 workers on minerals, 3 on gas. Cybercore is going to create the wall off. 2nd gateway will go there. This is a pretty safe wall off. You can chuck some structures in here behind to re-wall off. I don't think you can squeeze a gateway in there. You can do a pylon and then you can... Yeah, actually, this is not the best to wall off behind. Hey, and the Cybercore is very exposed. You could argue that a Ling Flood is actually viable here. Yeah, you could absolutely argue that. Against MaxPax building placement. Don't think Solar will go for it though. Ling Flood is just not that good at the moment because every Protoss player is going super fast Stargate into like a Void Ray. So it's just this thing where there's this big flying unit overhead. They can always pull their probes back, stack them in the mineral line. They can always re-wall. A lot of players very on point with keeping the Adepts at home about half the time. So you never know. If those Adepts don't move out, then you can't catch the first Adept or 2 on the map. Then a Ling Flood's pretty damn weak. It is, of course, not going to be that, as droning has continued. Third queen on the way here as well. One Zergling going to go around the left side, and if this Adept does shade out, it will not be able to stop the Zergling running in for the scout. Overlord's going to head forward to see what's up. Notice that the Overlord doesn't know if the Adept's waiting there or not. And it looks like, in fact, he's waiting for the second Adept to leave with this Zergling. Wow. Well, that's interesting. I guess maybe MaxPax always waits for both Adepts. Thank you, Confucius, with the Prime Gaming sub. Appreciate the love. Thank you for the Bezos bucks, mate. 7 drones on the way. Third hatchery. Looking pretty tight right now. This Overlord does start a little late. Definitely wants to queue up 1 or 2 more Overlords. Does Solar while he's waiting. And he sees the 2 Adepts just chilling at the front. The Zergling's waiting for them to move out. But since they're not leaving, the Overlord's going to go through, confirm the Void Ray's there. And I think he's probably just going to see if he can spot a quick third. I wouldn't be surprised if these other Zerglings came forward as well. And look at that. There we go. Sees the probe heading out. Says, okay, no worries. This is a more standard quick third build. This is not the double gas on the natural super fast second Stargate version. This is the take the third, then take the gases in the second Stargate. It's a slight reordering. Well, I guess the other one's the slight reordering. This is the more standard build. 3-minute 50 to or 3:45 third base. And yeah, double gas, second Stargate, and the build will go on. Spore Crawler building very delayed in the third base. Natural has a spore. Main is building a spore. It has a spore. It's finished. I don't like the positioning though. These drones pretty exposed. Oracle's going to get at least 1 or 2, and doesn't take much damage for it. So that's really nice. 2 workers. Obviously, it only takes a little bit. 30 hit points off of its hull. Definitely does get scratched up in an early forge. So MaxPax wants to have the ability to build those cannons. I said that with surprise in my voice. Pretty sure that always goes down before the Robo. A few Zerglings do come over here. It's just 8. Obviously with an Adept and a shield battery, not much they can do. These Adepts warping in, you can see they're already queued down the right side of the map. They're going to go for a little bit of harassment, try and surprise Solar from the right side. This Overlord might see them. Barely misses them. Barely misses them. It's unfortunate for Solar. Look, notice the Void Ray's pulling the Queens out of position. His Zerglings are at home though, so he should be able to respond pretty quickly. Queen in the open. Queen loses to Void Ray pretty handily, especially if the Oracle comes in. Doesn't have much energy, but only needs to add a little bit to try and finish that off. Time to pull back, MaxPax. Almost. Oh, he loses the Oracle. Very sloppy. Let's see what the Adepts do though. 1 kill, 2 kills. Very nicely done by MaxPax here, just really linking up these pressures to be as frustrating as possible, but didn't focus fire very well. He actually shot down 2 Zerglings there. Could have been 2 more drones. Nonetheless, a bit of a disruption as he drops his 3rd Stargate and his Fleet Beacon. Carry is going to be coming out soon. Void Ray, of course, still making it very difficult for Solar to scout. And the Void Rays should be splitting up if he's worried about the Nidus Worm potential, but seeing a speed overseer would make me feel like 100% Solar's playing a macro game like he's been doing most of this series, and this just feels that way. Obviously, he did a Roach Queen push, but he did it off like 180 supply in that last game. Don't think he's going to pull it out 2 games in a row. Robo Bay is coming up now. Adepts are going to continue shading forward. Cancel the shade is absolutely the right play. He can just pull those back for now. I like the way he keeps Solar busy. Hive and Spire. Whoa, that's a quick Broodlord build, guys. 3 Infestors on the way, Hive and Spire. Oh my. Okay, so after doing a big surprising push that might have MaxPax worried about a repeat of that, he's going to rush to late game. He's not delaying the Infestors this time around. Super well prepared. Another 11 workers. Solar, he's still active with his Zerglings, so he's going to see if there's any surprise pushes coming. He can react to that. Notice he's not even making Roach speed this game. Everything is focused on the late game. And he's like, I don't care about Roaches, dude. Roaches are a shit unit. We're going Zergling pressure just to keep you busy, and then we're going to go Queens, Infestors, and Broodlords. We're going to push you. It's a very, very powerful way of playing. Observer down here sees a Spire, sees the Infestors, sees the Queens. MaxPax, this is great vision. Go to MaxPax vision. Let's see if he notices those Infestors. He might have already spotted it before we swapped onto his camera, but you can see here. Oh, he just, okay. He's got the gateways, the Twilight Council coming in. He sees the Infestors down there. Immediately takes gases on the 4th. Observer does get caught in spore range. And he's going to try and keep pressuring here. Very important for him to stay active. I'd like to see him build another observer as well so that he can clear the creep up. Ultra Cavern, Baneling Nest, just about everything going on the way, and you've got to be wary as Solar of investing in too much tech. You know MaxPax loves his timing attacks, mate. He loves his timing attacks. Thank you, Gamanen, as well for that 2-month resub. Thank you, mate. He loves his timing attacks. He'll try to kill you. He will try to kill you with Archons and Zealots and shit, man. Look, charge starts, Templar Archives goes down right after that. This is how he likes to play it. He'll make a bunch of Archons on top of this Void Ray carrier. He's got some Disruptors. He'll add some Zealots, and he will try to kill you. Solar's got a great work account, but we've seen Solar get caught out many times where he's kind of hovering at like 160, 170 supply, and he's building lots of drones, lots of static. The problem is that static spread across so many bases. If MaxPax forces a fight at one area, there's only 3 or 4 spores, a Spinecrawler taking part in that, well, the army supply is what's going to matter. And this is what I'm a little worried about for Solar. Now, he's got Bane Speed, 4 Ultras on the way, 11 Queens, 3 Infestors, 3 Vipers. He is getting a bit of a supply lead, so it looks like he should be able to max out before that attack hits him. I'm still worried, though, because it is just Queens. Nothing else but Queens and Spores shooting up. A couple Corruptors coming in. I believe that's no Great Aspire either, actually. That's really weird. I really thought it would be Great Aspire, but I guess because he's going Ultras, I mean, there's no point going both. They kind of don't work together very well, Ultras and Broodlords. They're not the worst combo, but they're definitely not the greatest. Ultras like to just jump on top, bum rush the opponent. Broodlords like to pick away at them from afar and use spells to keep them at a distance. Ling Ultra on the right side. He's already morphing some Banelings up on that top left. Bane Speed's not ready. This is a poorly timed Baneling run by. He should have waited another 5 seconds, 10 seconds before going in here. MaxPax, though, not watching. MaxPax caught slipping. Oof. Oh, but even then, only loses a few workers, 9 workers. Who cares? If you're on 80 workers, that's not that much. And cost for cost, that's worse for the Zerg player because he traded about 10 Banelings there. Each Baneling, of course, costs an extra 25 gas on top of the 50 minerals. 25 to morph that 25 mineral Zergling into a Baneling. 13 gateways are up and he's going to 15 gateways for MaxPax. MaxPax wants to swap into full ground, and I've talked about a lot how I really feel the answer to the Queen Infestor style of ZVP late game is just to swap off your air units as they die out. Keep some carriers just to force your opponent to build Corruptors and whatnot, but then just, if you can get enough Immortals, like if they don't have really good kind of Broodlord Infestor usage to keep you at range, I mean, you can smash things like Ultras really well with Immortal Archon. Disruptors can pop the Queens and Infestors behind it. So he's getting very well set up, and this is going to give MaxPax immense flexibility in terms of what composition he wants to play and how he adapts to the scenario. Solar, though, not just going for one big push. He's playing a real slow game. He's going to take a 6th. He's going to move up his static. And Solar might even ignore the left side of the map, try to take this base, and then siege down MaxPax front expansion. Love that MaxPax is still active with these little pairs of Adepts just being annoying in this game. Zergling picking a fight. Probably shouldn't be doing that. 2 more probes went down. Not sure if that was a Baneling. Prism on the side of the map, but going right through the vision. Should have been further on the edge. And that's a little bit obvious what you're doing there, mate. But Solar a little too slow to respond. These Adepts are walking right in as well. And uh-oh. Solar, what are we doing, mate? He doesn't have many mobile units right now. And, oh, these Adepts not being microed. Bit of a mistake from MaxPax, but already gets 5, 6 workers. And the Zealots there will just trade out. I would have loved to see him shift-click on those drones a little more in both the main and the 4th base. I think MaxPax is just focused on getting his army correct at home and saw this more as a way of just trading out some units, distracting Solar a little bit, keeping him busy. Realizes that a small mineral trade on either side isn't going to decide the game. It's more important to have all the upgrades and all the pieces that you want for that big fight. Notice there's no Psystorm though, guys. No, Psystorm's definitely a big issue. Whoa, did we just lose a carrier? No, it looks like the Corruptor Viper got caught out, guys. 1 Corruptor and 1 Viper did die, and Ultra comes forward. Uh-oh, there's nothing to defend there. MaxPax does this sometimes where he's like, you're counterattacking me. All in the front. And this might work out. He's got a big wall of Immortals, but look at that. Parasitic Bomb lands on top of the Interceptors, but they're killing the Broodlords pretty quickly. He's shift-clicked. Most of the Broodlords are gone. There's only 2 Broodlords left. The carriers are just tanking it, running on forwards. The last Broodlord will go down, and that's going to allow his Void Ray, Corruptor, his Void Rays to slay the Corruptors, the Archon Immortal Disruptor smashing the ground army. And yes, is there an Ultra tearing up his third base? Yes, there is. But it doesn't matter if he just crushes through the front. It's so hard to get your balance of units correct there. I said he's got a lot of static, but it's spread across the map. He doesn't have all the static in one situation. MaxPax takes the 3-1 there and just ignores the static defense, walks right through those Spore Crawlers. And even here with, I had about 10 Spore Crawlers taking part in this fight. Not enough when you've got 70 Interceptors just spiraling on forwards. A crushing timing attack. And if you get rid of the Broodlords, I mean, the Ultras we've seen just don't do well once there's 5 Immortals out. The Ultras just disappear. They can't get through the Archons. The Corruptors are worthless in this scenario. They're only really good for shift-clicking carriers down, but in this scenario, you're trying to kill all the Interceptors. So you really need more Infestors and maybe 1 or 2 more Parasitic Bombs dropping down. Great play by MaxPax, though. He gets the 3-1, and he's going to be facing off against Zest in the Grand Finals.